Hey guys, Lauren and Adam coming to you from CrossFit Roscoe. Today we're going to talk about optimizing performance. Specifically, we're talking about track and field athletes and cross-country athletes. But when you're looking at an athlete, there's a couple different things you need to think about before you start training an athlete. So Adam, could you talk to me about what you need to know about an athlete when they come into your gym?
I think the thing that we start with is the idea that we have to understand the demands of the sport. You train football players differently than you train wrestlers, which is differently than you train track and field athletes or cross-country athletes. And then even track and field athletes within their specific events, jumpers versus sprinters versus distance versus throwers, there are a lot of similarities and a lot of similar training that you would see within big lifts, squatting, deadlifting, pressing, etc. But then there are many differences too. You're going to train a thrower differently than you're going to do some different things than with you would a distance kid. So understand the demand of the sport is really priority number one. And really when Lauren started running track, she was a mid-distance kid, 400, 800, and then she did some pole vaulting and found that she had some talent for that, and that changed her training because you can't train a pole vaulter the way you do a mid-distance athlete. You don't get the same
result
out of that. Yeah, do you want to talk about how your training kind of changed from freshman year to senior year?
Yeah, basically I came in, basketball was my main sport, started running, and then that's really all I did. I ran a lot and I got hurt a lot. Many injuries, went too hard too fast with no strength base, no accessory training. And so eventually I kind of dropped from cross country, long distance to let's try mid distance, maybe that'll help me out. And did that for a while, still was getting hurt, and then eventually I moved into pole vaulting, and I realized that if I'm in a pole vault, I need to be really strong. No chinks in my armor, I need to be good at squatting, good at pull-ups, from head to toe, need to be as strong as possible.
And fast.
And
very fast.
And so I really started implementing strength training, and then a lot of sprints, really kind of did distance every now and again just to keep my cardio up, but not too much, and saw huge changes in my training because my sport changed, and I needed different demands for my sport.
It's interesting to see too, as athletes kind of progress, they might not run the same, or participate in the same events as they do freshman year as they do senior year, or then even into college, how things will change, kind of based on how they change or what the team needs.
Yeah. So now understand the demands of the sport. After that, so you know their demands and how you need to train them. So what do you look at when you're training them? What type of things do you have to pay attention to, and how does that kind of play out?
Yeah. I think when people come to the gym, and this is why we're the private sector that we are, we like the small groups. We like keeping it simple. Our number one rule is that we never load dysfunction. Okay, so if you're moving poorly, if you're not doing what you're supposed to, we never load that. We never put a bar on somebody's back and just say, hey, just do a few more, and think that things will work itself out, because you either get hurt or you plateau out, and both are bad. Both are the same conversation. So this is really hard to do during the track season. Because you have meets going on, it's a tough thing to do, and it's interesting to watch, a race like the 2 mile, and to watch people run that first lap, and they look fantastic. The first couple laps, they look great, and then like lap, 6 happens, and just they start to look worse and worse, and this is kind of where loading dysfunction comes in. It's just a tough thing. You don't want to, kids lose that strength, and that stability and that form through running, and they're in essence loading dysfunction, and this is where injury comes from.
Right, exactly.
Which is no fun for anything. So this is also really hard to do in the way of moving and being a fully functional human being. Hard to do in a high school weight room just because there's so many kids. You have football players, you have wrestlers, you have off-season guys just trying to get their pump on, and it's crowded, and it's hard to really cue
direct specific training.
Yeah, without either not getting anything out of it or getting kids hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, so really it's really easy to do it within kind of what we have going here, because it's smaller groups, specific groups, and it's really nice to have track kids all working at the same time.
Right. Same goal, same.
Absolutely, and it might be a little different based on, again, goals and who they are, but in essence
similar demands.
Similar demands.
Right.
So it's tough and outside the gym walls.
So specifically, after figuring out what their demands are and the differences in that, what do you target? If you have a cross country athlete or a track athlete, what are you going to help them achieve and get better at?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is you have to understand that every track athlete, or really almost every athlete, needs to produce a large amount of force. Okay, that is, you have to just be strong, powerful, explosive. I don't care if you're running the 2 mile,
Right.
the mile,
Pretty much everyone.
field event, whatever. You need to produce a large amount of force. Combination here. You have to combat your weaknesses. It's not fun. Nobody likes to do things that they stink at. You know, and that's really interesting within track, because if you're a distance kid, you're probably not a great sprinter. That's why you're a distance athlete, and you're probably a sprinter because you're probably, you know, you're not really good at distance. So you kind of already kind of segregate yourself out. But if a distance kid gets faster, speedier, you know, that then helps them with distance. If a sprinter gets a little bit more endurance in them, then that helps them, you know, with the sprint events. So it's a fun combination of really attacking those weaknesses, not beating them down every day, because at the same time we want to nurture your strengths. You're in track and field doing specific events because you're good at specific events.
Reinforce those.
Yeah, I mean, Lauren was a strong kid. She's good with her gymnastics. You know, pole vault was kind of a natural fit for her. You know, we didn't make her run the 2 mile because, you know, she's just more wired up in which to, you know, to be that short, explosive athlete.
Right.
So the combination of those things, and I think the thing that people have to realize, it takes years to develop baseline strength. I mean, this is not a, you know, overnight thing. You train for years. You're still training now.
Right. I'm still a rookie. I've been in CrossFit for 3 years, and I'm still considered a rookie. I know it. I got years to go.
It's just years on years on. It's not just oh, I did it for 2 months, and you know, oh, I feel good. I'm a little stronger. But no, it's again, it's years on years on years of working these movements and you know, getting strong and getting that baseline strength.
Right.
And the last thing, in the way of what we do specifically for our sports-specific athletes, we do not do CrossFit with our sports-specific athletes. CrossFit is, I define it, sorry, I'm putting it on the spot. I define it as high-intensity, constantly varied functional movement. Kind of some random stuff there.
Right.
You passed the test, you know this.
I know.
That's tough. But that's not what we choose to do with our athletes, because we know their goals, we know what they want to become, we see them move, and we nurture the strengths, we come back to the weaknesses. It's not just, you know, CrossFit. We really don't even do that much CrossFit with our regular clientele. It's progressions. It's
accessory movement,
accessory work, just to make sure that all the movement is pretty and perfect. It's not just random, you know, whatever the heck that we pick out of a hopper. It's plan specific, strength conditioning.
They have very specific goals based on their events and what they're doing, and every athlete is different. We're not robots, and so it must be a very, very specified training regimen.
If you guys have any questions with anything that we do, if you have questions, you want to sit down, talk shop, you know, again, everybody is different. So I wish we could give you this one-size-fits-all approach. You know, Lauren, with a lot of her background, I don't remember junior year or senior year, but she had some injury things. She basically never ran. She lifted and she vaulted, and that was it. And went downstate. You know, like it was, you know, it's just kind of what we, you know, what the formula that we needed to get her the successes that she did. You know, everybody's a little different in everything that you're going to do.
Yep.
Thanks for watching.
See ya.